As Soludo drove along the busy streets, his thoughts engrossed. As he drove fast across the busy streets, Soludo was lost in deep thought. He thought about the findings that he was able to make from the documents in the envelope when he almost ran into a teenager that was hawking some oranges. He was so shocked and afraid that he must have hit the girl. He quickly came down from his car and saw the girl on the ground with her oranges scattered all over the place. Luckily for Soludo, she was unhurt. She only fell down out of shock and fear. Soludo quickly grabbed her as he tried to help her to her feet. Please, I'm very sorry. Hope you are fine, Soludo asked, with concern and fear in his voice. Yes, sir, I'm fine, she responded nervously. It's fine. So how much are your oranges? Soludo asked her. They are sold for 1,500. She responded in a quiet tone. Okay, don't worry, just tie them for me in a nylon bag. I will pay for all of them. So the girl did as Soludo asked her. She smiled and thanked Soludo for buying all her oranges as Soludo handed her a few notes. Soludo hopped back into his car and drove off. This time he drove with caution, thanking God the girl was unhurt. However, when Soludo got to his friend's house, Jide, after they exchanged pleasantries, Jide said to Soludo, Bro, you sounded so urgent on the phone. I hope all is well, and how is Mama doing? See, Jide, I need your help and words of wisdom. That was how Soludo narrated everything that he was able to discover in the contents of the envelope. So, bro, you see, I need your expertise here. I don't want to make any mistakes, Soludo said. Now, wow, this is going to be tough, Jide said, scratching his head. But I think we have to tread with caution here. As you can see, these people are powerful in the society, and there is a lot to unravel. And we have to do it fast, but wisely. So Jide pulled Soludo closer to himself. You know the walls have ears, they say. Then he whispered some words into his ears. Okay, I think that is fine. If this is going to give us the result, then I'm in. Soludo responded in a firm tone. Jide and Soludo discussed about other things, and later on that evening, Soludo drove back home. However, a week later, Soludo was in the office with his boss, Barrister Kalu. They sat in his exquisite chamber. My son, I'm so proud of you, and I'm glad you are learning so fast. You see, regarding this your case, justice must be won, I promise. I'm happy with the step you're about to take. This will really help us get more evidence. Just know that I'm here to help you, wherever you need my help and support, Barrister Kalu continued, in a firm tone. Thank you so much, sir. Soludo thanked his boss, Barrister Kalu. However, 2 days later, Soludo stood in front of the Ikenna's mansion. The mansion stands majestically on a sprawling estate, surrounded by lush manicured gardens, adorned with colorful flowers and tall, swaying palm trees. Its exteriors boast a blend of modern and classic architectural styles. The walls are painted in a soft cream tone. This mansion is very big. This is another world on its own, Soludo exclaimed quietly to himself as he approached one of the security men that was beckoning on him. I'm here to see Chief Ikenna. He asked me to come see him this morning. I'm one of the new employees. Soludo tried to explain to him. Chief Ikenna asked me to come and see him this morning before I resume at the office. So the security man called the house and was told to allow Soludo to come in. As Soludo walked into the Ikenna's mansion, he knew Chief Ikenna really had a great taste for good things. He had never seen such a beautiful and glamorous house, with rich blends of culture. Soludo was welcomed into the living room by the charming smile of a man with beard, who should be in his mid-40s. He sat on one of the sofas. You can have a seat. Chief Ikenna would soon be here, he said, smiling at Soludo, who also smiled back shyly. Soludo was captivated with the interior, which was equally impressive. The plush furnishings, the high-vaulted ceilings, a crystal chandelier that sparkles like a cluster of diamonds, which exudes both comfort and elegance. The ambience was serene. A few moments later, Chief Ikenna walked into the living room, followed by 2 hefty men who stood at the door where he came out from. They looked rough and big. Chief Ikenna's demeanor was intimidating and proud. I can see you have a very good CV here, Chief Ikenna said, slipping through some papers that he was holding. You see, in our company, We like to employ the best. Our company has stood the test of time because we scrutinize and go for the best. Congratulations, Mr. Soludo. You are welcome to the Ezenwa's Holdings. Just as it has been stated in your employment letter, you assume your duty in our admin department first. Then, as we see your capability, you can now proceed to work in our legal department. This is a policy in our company. This is to enable our employees know the modality and the basics of our job. So you'll be reporting at the office tomorrow. Please just hold on. I need to make this urgent call. As he grabbed his phone, hello, Mr. Egu. Our new employee is here, Mr. Soludo. Please make sure you put him through as usual and let him work directly under Miss Achu in the same office. Chief Ikenna continued in a strong, firm tone. So, Mr. Soludo, your name looks so familiar, and you also have this resemblance with one of my late father's friend, Chief Ikenna said. His eyes narrowed. He fixed his gaze on Soludo as if he was trying to pierce through his heart. But Soludo quickly looked away, avoiding his eyes, but also responded, Sir, I'm sure it's just a coincidence. I was raised by a single mother, and I am not from this place at all. This is my first time being here. Soludo responded hesitantly. Soludo walked out of Chief Ikenna's mansion. He thanked his stars that Chief Ikenna did not further question him, but believed all he had said. So that evening, when Soludo was on the phone with Jide, Jide said to him, You just have to be careful. Oh. I hear Chief Ikenna is very intelligent and smart. He is the second son of Chief Odeli, who has now retired and is based abroad. His son, Chief Ikenna, is in charge of most of his father's businesses. This is the findings I have been able to make from his history online. Please, you can still do more, Soludo said. I cannot wait to unravel this mystery and get myself out of here fast. That man is very proud. I cannot stand his arrogance, Soludo responded desperately. That same night, Soludo sat in his hotel room. He remembered Chief Ikenna, his encounter with him, his arrogance, his bodyguards, his mysterious look. Even though he looked so calm, his intimidating demeanor still put people off. Soludo was lost in deep thoughts as he turned on his bed unable to sleep, praying to God to help him for justice. However, the next morning, Soludo had a quick bath and headed to the company. He met the head of human resources, Mr. Egu, who took him to Miss Achu. Miss Achu, this is Mr. Soludo, our new colleague. He would be working directly with you, as directed by the MD. So please, give him all the assistance and cooperation needed. Mr. Soludo, you can have a nice day, and whatever difficulty you have, just let me know immediately. Miss Achu here is very nice, and I hope your work with her will be very easy, Mr. Egu said as he walked back to his office. Soludo and Miss Achu soon had a good work relationship. As weeks passed, Miss Achu was a kind and easygoing lady. She was a few years older than Soludo. Her relationship with Soludo was very cordial and ethical. It wasn't long, Soludo and Miss Achu became friends. They had gone for lunch a few weeks after Soludo resumed work in the Ezenwa Holdings when they were called on the phone that there was an emergency meeting and that every staff should report immediately at the MD's conference room. Soludo and Miss Achu hurriedly had their lunch and went back to the office. There was an emergency meeting with Chief Ikenna, and sitting beside Chief Ikenna was a very beautiful lady that should be in her early 20s. Throughout the meeting, Soludo noticed that the lady could not take off his eyes from him. He tried to avoid her eyes. He felt embarrassed and uncomfortable with her subtle glimpses. However, after the meeting, as Soludo was about to leave the conference room, Chief Ikenna called him back. Mr. Soludo, hope you are having a good time with us here. Yes, sir. I'm enjoying it here, sir. Soludo responded, smiling, as he bowed his head respectfully. Indeed, Miss Achu and the HOD, Mr. Ego, have really been nice to me. They have made my work easy, Soludo quickly added. That evening, as Soludo stepped out of his office into the busy streets that led to his hotel room, he overheard the continuous hooting of a car behind him. So he stopped to see who it was, and the face looked familiar, so he drew close. Good day, ma'am, he greeted. He quickly recognized her. She was the lady that sat beside Chief Ikenna during the meeting that day. Good day, she said, smiling. You are our new intake, she asked Soludo. Yes, ma'am. So which way are you headed? She asked. Soludo, who looked uninterested and somehow embarrassed, just had to give her the audience, as he did not like the way she kept staring at him. I'm headed that way, Soludo pointed. Well, it's fine. I'm Miss Lois. My father is Chief Ikenna. I met you today at the meeting. You look different and very confident. I like you, she said. As she continued staring at Soludo, who was uneasy. Please, I hope we can be friends, she said, as she stretched out her hand for a handshake. Soludo was just shocked and confused at her boldness, sluggishly shook hands with Miss Lois, who smiled and drove off. The next day, Soludo narrated what transpired between him and Miss Lois to Miss Achu, who did not look surprised at all. Soludo, our MD's daughter gets whatever she wants, and she have eyes for good things, Miss Achu said to Soludo. She is humble and very kind though. I like her. She's the opposite of her father. I think she took after her mom. She has been to this office quite a few times, and my encounter with her, she looks very nice. Please, oh, let her just stay on her own lane, oh. I'm here to work, not for romance, not just with anyone, but my boss's daughter. I don't want any problems, so. Soludo responded with disapproval on his face as he continued to work on his laptop. 3 days later, Soludo had gone to see Mr. Ezekiel, the HOD of the legal department of their company. And as he returned back to his office, he saw a gift pack and bouquet of flower on his table with a note inside it. He was surprised and wondered who the sender could be. As he read through the note, he shook his head in disappointment, shrugging his shoulders. I don't know what is wrong with this young lady. I'm not interested. As he sat on his chair, his phone rang. It was Jide. Bro, I have some informations for you. I think this will really help us a lot, Jide said excitedly. Bro, what is it now? You don't seem excited at all, Jide asked Soludo, who was just quiet on the phone. See, Jide, I don't know. My MD's daughter is on my neck. She wants me to date her. I don't even know who told her that this is my problem now. As I'm talking to you now, she just sent me a bouquet of flower and also a gift pack, which I've not even opened, Soludo said in a sad tone. Now wow, this is serious so. Soludo, finally love have found you, Jide said teasingly. Let's wait oh. You can still use this to your advantage. Think now. She will not bite you. She's not also going to force you to her bed. I would advise that you get to know her more. Who knows? She may even be the answer to our prayers. To get closer to Chief Ikenna. So Soludo, when are you coming to my house so I can show you the things I have for you? Jide asked. I think 5 p.m. would be fine. I will try to leave the office early today. Mr. Achu is not around, so I'm reporting directly to Mr. Ezekiel, HOD of Law Department. So that evening, after work, Soludo took an Uber to Jide's apartment. Jide showed him some things in his laptop. Soludo was so happy. Thank you so much, Jide. This is really good. Soludo was so happy with the progress they've made so far. A few weeks later, Soludo was inside a beautiful restaurant on a date with Miss Lois. This was not the first time they were seen together. The news soon went round the whole office that they were dating. So during one of their dates, Soludo asked Miss Lois some deep questions about her family background, which she found so uncomfortable to respond to. But because Soludo insisted that it was based on their relationship, babe, I need to know you more for us to take our relationship to another level, Soludo said as he held her hands. I cannot wait to be with you forever, Soludo said in a sweet, tender voice. This always swept Lois off her feet. She loved Soludo so much, not just because he was handsome, but because of his calm and confident demeanor. He seems to know how to love and treat her just the way she wanted to be loved. It was now 3 months since Lois and Soludo had been dating. It was also during one of their dates that Soludo proposed to Lois, which she heartily accepted. This was the proposal she had been waiting for. She was glad to say yes to Soludo. However, during Chief Ikenna's birthday, Soludo went to see Chief Ikenna in the company of Lois, and they shared the good news with him and his wife. Chief Ikenna's beautiful wife Chief Ikenna's beautiful wife, Lady Ifeoma, has always loved and treated Lois like her own daughter. She only had a son for Chief Ikenna. Chief Ikenna also loved his only daughter Lois and was willing to do anything for her happiness. He was so happy with Lois's choice. Since Soludo resumed work in the Ezenwa Holdings, he has proved himself. Soludo was very hardworking and diligent. My son, your record is clean. You know we have done some findings and background checks on you, and you come clean, Chief Ikenna said, smiling. I like you. You are enterprising and hardworking, which is the prayer of every father for his daughter, and I can see both of you love each other, Chief Ikenna said as he looked at Soludo and Lois, who held hands, sitting on the sofa smiling. So, sir, I would ask if we can get married on the same day. We want the traditional and white wedding on the same day, Soludo asked, looking at Lois, who nodded, affirming to what Soludo asked from her father. Okay, if that's what both of you want, it's fine. You can go ahead and fix the date. Leave everything to me. Chief Ikenna's daughter is getting married. The people of Ekwulobia and Anambra State will surely know that my only daughter is getting married, Chief Ikenna said proudly and smiling. So in Chief Ikenna's compound, preparations was in full gear. As the days approached, Soludo was busy with a lot of things. He was engaged in office work. He did not allow himself to be distracted with his forthcoming wedding to Lois. A lot of things was going on behind the scene. It was already 1 year since Soludo resumed work in Ezenwa's holding. However, 3 days to Soludo and Lois's wedding, Lois pleaded with Soludo, please, can you call your mother on the phone? Neither have I spoken or met your mother, and it is now few days to our wedding. I feel so uncomfortable meeting your mother for the first time on our wedding day. At least if we talk, we can have some connections. It just looks somehow, Soludo, Lois said sadly. She looked at Soludo with concern on her face, fixed her eyes on Soludo. It's fine, babe, I'll do that. So Soludo tried Adako on the phone, but she was not taking her calls. Babe, you just have to relax. My mother is a sweet soul. She is very kind and accommodative. You will really like her, and I also know she will like you. So just calm down, okay? Soludo said reassuredly. I'll still try to call her, Soludo promised. However, on the day of the wedding, the compound of Chief Ikenna was packed with politicians, government dignitaries, and everyday people from the town. Lois made a beautiful bride. As she was gorgeously dressed, she looked stunningly beautiful, her skin shimmering. Beautiful music was played in the background by the DJ to the entertainment of everybody. It was a happy and celebration atmosphere. Chief Ikenna sat with some of his friends, politicians, and dignitaries with his beautiful wife as they await the arrival of Soludo and his people. Chief Ikenna's father, Chief Odeli, was also seated on the high table. Even though old, but he still looked strong. However, a few hours later, Chief Ikenna became worried and tensed as he could not understand what was still keeping their in-laws, who they have been expecting for the past 4 hours till now. Lois was already panicking and getting worried for Soludo and his people. She tried to call him on the phone for several times, but his phone was switched off. The atmosphere in Chief Ikenna's compound was tensed. People were already murmuring in low voices as they still awaited the arrival of Soludo and his people. In that atmosphere, a tinted car and another car entered the compound of Chief Ikenna, and in the flash of seconds, the men of the anti-drug enforcement and some police officers alighted from the vehicle. Soludo, Jide, and Barrister Kalu also came out from the other car. Chief Ikenna was stunned. His eyes narrowed as he looked at Soludo, who avoided his eyes. That day, Chief Ikenna was arrested with his father, Chief Odili, and some other men for questioning. Everybody was thrown into confusion. Lois, who could not stand what happened, fainted out of shock. Soludo, Jide, and Barrister Kalu drove off in the second car. A few weeks later, Chief Ikenna's legal counsel made every effort to bend the judgment to their favor, but with Barrister Kalu's vast knowledge and reputation in judiciary, he won the case in Soludo's favor. Chief Ikenna was sentenced to 15 years in prison without bail after the court found him and his father guilty of assassinating Chief Okoto. His wife, also Chief Ikenna, was responsible for the death of Obinna Soludo's late father. Barrister Kalu was able to secure judgments that gave full and legal ownership of the Ezenwa holdings to Soludo. The Ezenwa holdings had a gross income of over $3 billion as it was into road construction and other contracts, which Chief Okoto, late grandfather, lost to Chief Odele and his son Ikenna. Chief Odele and Okoto were good friends, but Okoto was well favored among his contemporaries. He was securing lots of contracts from the government, which made him the richest among his friends. He was unaware of Chief Odele's envy, even though a close friend. Unbeknownst to Chief Okoto that Chief Odele wanted him out of the way. So Chief Okoto hired some assassins to kill Chief Okoto and his wife. Hence, he took over the company, which has now become Ezenwa Holdings, which was formerly named by Chief Okoto after his late father. So a month later, Soludo sat in his office with Barrister Kalu, who he made the new head of legal department of the Ezenwa Holdings. Jide he also made the head of ICT, and Misachu the head of admin. Hence, she has worked in Ezenwa Holdings for the past 13 years, so she had a lot of experience. Misachu was so happy for Soludo. Soludo. I never knew I was working with my future boss. Soludo, this world is very small though. Look at how wicked this world is. All these years, Chief Ikenna and his father have been enjoying the sweat of your father. See how wicked this world is. Chief Odele took your father's life and that of your grandparents out of jealousy and envy, more so greed. But today, justice have prevailed. 2 months later, Soludo assumed the Ezenwa Holdings as the new CEO. All the legal documents were duly registered in Soludo's name. Adaku was so proud of her son. She said to Soludo, "My son, I knew you would be great, but I never knew you could be this great. Thank God for today, and God bless the souls of your parents and grandparents. At last, justice has prevailed. Soludo, my son, thank God for your wisdom. You just kept me in the dark all these months, even though I was worried sick for you. But I always remembered the son I have raised you to become, and I knew that whatever decisions you are making were right and would always be the best. You see, my son Soludo, God has brought us from rags into riches. Destiny can be delayed, but cannot be denied. I'm grateful to God, my son, for your life. Thank God for also surrounding you with the right people like Barrister Carlo, your close friend Jide, and some people you have also talked about. So happy for us, Adako continued, her face beaming with smiles. Solude hugged Adako as tears of joy rolled down his cheeks. Mama, I cannot thank you enough for being the best mother, my strong support, my prayer warrior. God bless you, Mama, for all your sacrifices and selfless love for me. It's okay, my son. Today is a happy day for us. Let's not become teary. Let's go and meet others and enjoy the day. There was lots of food to eat and drink as Soludo celebrated his victory and recovery of his father's business empire. Ezenwa Holdings, in the leadership of Soludo, became a greater business empire in Nigeria and Africa. Thank you so much for listening and following through to the end of this story. I appreciate you all for your strong support and love. Let's continue our discussion in the comment sections. The lessons we have learned from this story. Also, give this story a thumbs up, share with your loved ones and friends. Please don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed for more beautiful stories. And until we meet again next time, stay blessed and bye.